So in regards to taxes and the exempt status, I think we need to return to the Declaration of Independence, because we should all do this. We should. But there'll be those lawyers, because most of them came from the Synagogue of Satan. I'm not saying there's no good lawyers, but let's face it, most of them, they work for Babylon because it's all about money for them. But I'm sure there's some good ones out there. But, there'll be a bunch of people that say, well, this is the reason they have to do it and this. But there's no law. There's no law anywhere that when you ask somebody to find it, that they can find a law that says you're required to pay income tax. Our founders, they had I think there was a basic state tax that everybody paid, and that was it. And that was a small tax. But our founders fought over a 3% tax on tea. On tea. Could you imagine if they were around today? They'd be like, oh my, what have you people done? Yeah, we weren't paying attention, right? So we've all read the beautiful Declaration of Independence. It's like the best, besides the Bible, the best written document ever. I just want to point out a couple of key pieces in the Declaration of Independence. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Consent. They need our consent. I think the consent part is really important. I do. And I think it goes a lot to the trickery they do, is that we consent to things because we just do what we're told. We believe the government. Well, we don't anymore. We did not consent to being coerced to take treatments in order to have a job. We did not consent to 3-letter agencies inflicting tyranny on us. We did not consent to having free speech eliminated or stifled. We didn't consent to having sexual depravity put on our children in classrooms and to having drag time story hour. We didn't consent to being led by criminals. And we didn't consent to having nothing but a long line of taxes being taken from us. So going on, it's all about what we consent to. Continuing on with the Declaration of Independence. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new. Now, normally that would be, we vote new people in, right? But we see how that works out. I mean, we have states right now that still have not decided who's the winner is. Can you imagine? We have people that can't count. Even with machines, they can't count. Okay, and don't think that, let's use Arizona as an example, that Kari Lake and Katie Hobbs aren't both working to run out the clock. They are. Because there's nobody in Babylon, at your state level Babylon or at DC level Babylon, that is working for the people. It's all just noise. Noise, noise, noise. Talk, 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 talk. That's all they do. They talk. They don't ever do they don't work for the people. That's why I'm sick of all we're going to go get them. Yeah, sure. Okay, sure you are. So, normally that part of the Declaration of Independence would apply that if we had an ethical system in place for us to vote in new people. But clearly we don't have that. So, continuing on. But when a long train of abuses... A long train of abuses. I think we can all agree that we've had a long train of abuses. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is the right, it is the duty to throw off such government. That's the key here. Throw off such government. Because that part of the Declaration and Independence to me basically is saying we have tried these levels we have tried to talk to you, get you to listen to us. Everybody in America, especially the middle class, that nobody's listening to us. They don't care. It's like we don't even exist. So, I think basically the Declaration of Independence lays out how this was, they knew all this was going to happen. So we have to throw off government, and it doesn't do any good to go and get violent, because we know what happens in history with that. You can only get violent if you're defending yourself. Excuse me. So, you can't get violent. The only other thing you can do is there is exempt on your W-2 form. I think it's your W-2 form. The one you fill out where you put your dependents, if you're going to claim 1 or 2. Instead of claiming, you don't claim anything. You check the box that says exempt, and then you don't file taxes. Now, there's been people that have done this. There has. And some of them, IRS never comes around. Others, the IRS, that time of year comes around, sends them a letter, and they've written back and said, show me in the law where it is that where's the law that says I have to do this? And some of them go away because there's nobody that can point to the law where it says we have to do it, pay federal income tax. And other people, they fought them, and the idea is to let them get you in front of a courtroom, because the courtroom will be like, you don't have a law. So, the point here is that we have a duty. We have a duty, as our founders wanted. We can't just stand by and comply with all of this tyranny, this continued tyranny, and yet you can't get violent. And so, given that most people have children, can you imagine what your children are going to be living in if we don't do something? So you have to realize, if we all do it, that sends a big, loud message. Are they going to put us all in jail? They may put some of us. You have to realize that. They may. But what else are we going to do? Sit on our hands and just wait for them to keep coming after us? That's the only thing I can think of, and really it falls in line with the Declaration of Independence, because none of our government, I don't care what the Supreme Courts and the lawyers and all of those people that are, the high educated people say, none of them are doing the right thing. That's what it all comes down to. Nobody's doing the right thing. Not the lawyers, not the Supreme Court, not anybody on the Republican or the Democrat side. Nobody's doing the right thing here. And the right thing, everybody knows right from wrong. Simple. We know right from wrong. We know what they're doing is wrong. And all these people that don't want to speak about those wrongs, and they think somehow by not mentioning it about how it doesn't work at ballots anymore, they're not helping either. But they, like I said, they get paid to lead us in a direction that says, oh, this is all normal. Well, clearly, now that we've woken up and educated ourselves to how bad our government is, how much they are abusing us, and the train of abuses, then we have to fall back to the Declaration of Independence, which says it is our duty to throw off such government. So we should not be paying our government to continue to inflict abuses on us, right? We shouldn't. We're enabling them then. Really, we are. So, it's on your W-2 form. You can ask for it at your HR. And you don't put any dependents. You don't claim anything, but you just click, or you just check the box that says exempt. And then when it comes that time of year when you have to file, you don't file. And then we all have to stand up for each other. The middle class is who they're going after. So all of the middle class, regardless of whether you're blue or red, which there is none of the parties anymore, we have to stand up for each other. That's just going to be how it is. That's where we become united. Is we all say, no, we are not going to pay a government that's going to inflict tyranny on us, that's going to inflict depravity upon our children. We will not pay for that. We will not let you take our federal income tax. If you want to take some of us to jail, fine, but you can't get us all to jail.